You know that feeling, don't you? Like you're carrying a heavy backpack everywhere you go. It's not visible to anyone else, but you feel the weight pressing down on your shoulders. A constant pull. It's filled with all sorts of things you've collected over the years, not just memories, but also burdens, worries, past hurts, and expectations. As we get a little older, maybe into our 60s and beyond, that backpack can start to feel incredibly heavy. It can make us feel tired, irritable, stuck, and sometimes it can even impact our health and how long we get to enjoy our lives. We carry these invisible weights, often without even realizing just how much they're slowing us down and dimming our light. But what if I told you there's a way to lighten that load significantly? A secret to feeling freer, happier, and maybe even adding some vibrant years to your journey. It's not a magic pill or a complicated exercise routine. It's about consciously choosing to set down some of those things you've been carrying. In this video, we're going to talk about 4 specific things that many of us hold on to, often out of habit or fear, that are actually holding us back from truly thriving after 65. We'll explore what they are, why they're so heavy, and how you can begin to gently let them go. It's a process, yes, but one that can bring incredible peace and freedom. Watch to the end for something that might surprise you about just how much lighter you can feel. Let's start unpacking that heavy backpack, shall we? The first thing that often weighs us down tremendously, and one that can become particularly heavy as we look back over the decades, is the weight of past regrets and mistakes. Think about it. We've all made choices we wish we hadn't. We've all said things we wish we could take back. We've all missed opportunities that, in hindsight, seem so obvious, and it's easy to get caught in a loop, replaying these moments, dwelling on what could have been, or criticizing ourselves for not knowing better at the time. We can carry the should-haves and could-haves like heavy stones in that backpack. Maybe it was a career path you didn't take, a relationship decision you regret, a financial misstep, or perhaps feeling like you weren't present enough with your children or grandchildren when they were younger. These regrets can fester. They can lead to feelings of guilt, shame, or a persistent sense of not good enough. And while it's natural to reflect on our lives, getting stuck in regret is like trying to drive forward while constantly staring in the rearview mirror. You miss everything happening right now, and you can't steer clear of obstacles ahead. The painful reality is that dwelling on the past, especially the parts we regret, doesn't change a single thing that happened. It only steals our peace and energy in the present moment. It drains the vitality that we could be using to enjoy today. Connect with loved ones, pursue a hobby, or simply relax. Holding on to regret is like carrying a wound that never gets a chance to heal because you keep picking at the scab. Why is it so important to let go of this particular weight after 65? Because time feels more precious. We have fewer tomorrows than yesterdays. And spending our remaining days feeling burdened by what's already done is a tragedy. Letting go of regret doesn't mean you're saying what happened wasn't significant, or that you don't learn from your experiences. It means accepting that the past is a story you lived, but it is not where you live now. It's about offering yourself the same compassion and understanding you would offer a dear friend who confided in you about their past mistakes. You wouldn't tell them they're a terrible person and should wallow in misery forever. Would you? You'd remind them they did the best they could with the knowledge and circumstances they had at the time, and that every experience, even the painful ones, shaped them into who they are today. Actionable steps to start letting go of regret. First, acknowledge the feeling without judgment. It's okay to feel regret. Name it. Understand what it's about. Second, consciously forgive yourself. This is perhaps the most challenging step, but the most crucial. Tell yourself, perhaps even out loud, I forgive myself for the specific thing. Remind yourself that you were human. You were learning, and you did the best you could. Third, reframe the experience. Can you find any lesson, however small or hard one? From that experience, how did it change you sometimes? The detours in life lead us to unexpected, beautiful places. Focus on the present moment. When a regretful thought creeps in, acknowledge it briefly. Oh, there's that thought again. And then gently guide your mind back to what you are doing right now. The feeling of the chair beneath you, the sounds around you, the taste of your tea. It takes practice, but it gets easier. Writing about it, talking to a trusted friend or counselor, or even creating a small personal ritual to symbolically release the regret, like writing it on paper and safely burning it, can also be helpful. Letting go of regret isn't about forgetting. It's about disarming the power the past has over your present joy. Imagine setting down a heavy stone from your backpack. Ah, that feels a little lighter, doesn't it now? Sometimes the weight we carry isn't just from the past, but from the constant worry about what other people think of us. This is the second heavy item many of us carry, often for our entire lives. But it can become particularly burdensome as we get older. We might worry if our choices are approved of by family members, if our friends think we're doing enough with our retirement, if younger generations are judging our perspectives, or even simple things like worrying about how we look or if we said the right thing in a conversation. We curate our lives, our words, our appearance, sometimes subconsciously, based on the perceived opinions of others. This worry stems from a deep-seated human need to belong, to be accepted, to be liked. And while considering the feelings of others is part of being a good person, living our lives primarily based on what we think others are thinking is incredibly stifling. It prevents us from being truly authentic. It makes us hesitate to pursue what we genuinely want to do, say what we truly feel, or be who we truly are, for fear of disapproval or judgment. The painful reality here is twofold. First, we can never truly know what someone else is thinking, and often, their thoughts are not as critical as we imagine. We project our own insecurities onto them. Second, even if someone is judging you, their opinion of you is actually none of your business. Their judgment often says more about them, their own biases and experiences, than it does about you. Holding on to the worry about what others think is like being a puppet, with invisible strings being pulled by imaginary puppeteers. You're not in control of your own movements or choices. It creates anxiety, fuels self-doubt, and can lead to living a life that is a shadow of the one you truly desire. Why is this important to shed after 65? Because, frankly, you've earned the right to be authentically yourself. You've spent decades likely fulfilling roles and meeting expectations as a parent, a spouse, a worker, a community member. Now is the time to live for you, based on your own values and desires, not someone else's potential critique. Letting go of this worry allows for immense freedom. It means you can wear what you want, pursue a quirky hobby, say no to something you don't want to do, or share your honest opinion respectfully, of course, without agonizing over the fallout. Actionable steps. First, recognize when you're making a decision or feeling hesitant based on what you think someone else might think. Pause and ask yourself, am I doing this because I want to, or because I'm worried about X's opinion? Second, challenge the thought. Is there real evidence that this person is thinking what you imagine often? There isn't. Most people are far more concerned with their own lives than they are with dissecting yours. Third, practice small acts of defiance against this worry. Wear that bright scarf even if you think it's too much. Share an opinion in a group even if it differs. Say no to an invitation if you genuinely don't want to go. Start small and build confidence. Fourth, cultivate your own inner validation. Your worth isn't determined by external approval. Focus on living in alignment with your own values. Ask yourself, am I proud of this choice, rather than will they approve. Imagine removing another large stone from your backpack, the one carved with countless question marks and imagined frowns. Wow, feeling lighter still. This journey of unpacking is about making space for more joy and ease in your later years. And speaking of things that weigh us down, let's continue this process. Now, as we delve deeper into the things that burden us, the third item we often carry, sometimes buried deep at the bottom of that heavy backpack, is the weight of resentment and grudges over a long lifetime. It's inevitable that we will experience hurt, disappointment, or unfair treatment from others, friends, family members, colleagues, even strangers. And when that hurt isn't processed and released, it can harden into resentment, a bitter feeling that festers inside. Holding a grudge is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. It doesn't harm the person who hurt you. It only harms you. It consumes your thoughts, drains your emotional energy, and can even manifest physically as stress-related ailments. Think about it. You might feel a pang of anger or tension every time you see or think about the person who wronged you, even if it happened years or even decades ago. That constant activation of your stress response is toxic. Resentment keeps you tethered to the past event and the person involved, giving them continued power over your emotional state. It closes your heart, making it harder to experience joy, love, and connection in the present. It builds walls between you and the world. Why is letting go of resentment and grudges particularly liberating after 65? Because holding on to them is a waste of precious energy and peace. Life is too short, especially at this stage, to carry around old hurts. Releasing resentment isn't about condoning the behavior that hurt you, or saying that what happened was okay. It's about making a conscious decision that you will no longer allow that past event to steal your present happiness. It's a gift you give yourself, the gift of freedom from that emotional prison. Forgiveness, in this context, is not about reconciliation with the other person, though that may happen, but about finding peace within yourself. It's about deciding that their actions will no longer occupy prime real estate in your mind and heart. It's an act of self-preservation and self-love. Actionable steps towards letting go of resentment and grudges. First, acknowledge the hurt and the anger. Don't try to bury it. It's okay that you were hurt. Validate your own feelings. Second, understand that holding on to it serves no positive purpose for you. Recognize the cost it's having on your own well-being. Third, make a conscious decision to release it. This is a decision of your will. It might feel like a leap of faith, but decide that you want to be free from this burden. Fourth, practice empathy. If you can, this isn't about excusing their behavior, but trying to understand that the other person, like all of us, is a flawed human being, perhaps operating from their own pain, ignorance, or limitations. This can sometimes soften the hard edges of anger. Fifth, and perhaps most practically, focus on redirecting your thoughts. When the memory of the hurt or the person arises, consciously shift your focus to something positive in your life, something you're grateful for in the present moment. Practice gratitude. It's hard to feel grateful and resentful at the exact same time. Sixth, if possible and safe, communicating your feelings without expectation of apology or resolution can sometimes be cathartic. Or writing a letter you never send. Ultimately, letting go of resentment is an ongoing practice, like exercising a muscle. It gets easier with time and intention. Imagine pulling a tangled, thorny vine of bitterness from your backpack. It scratches and resists, but once it's out, oh, the relief. Your hands are free, your shoulders feel lighter, and your heart can expand a little more. And this leads us to the fourth and final heavy item we'll talk about shedding today, the relentless need to control everything as we navigate through life. Especially after having responsibilities like raising families or managing careers. we can develop a strong sense that we need to be in control of situations, of outcomes, of other people's actions, even of the future. We plan, we worry, we try to manipulate circumstances, all in an effort to feel safe and secure. And while a certain level of planning and responsibility is necessary, an excessive need for control becomes incredibly draining and ultimately futile. Life is inherently uncertain and unpredictable. Things happen that are outside of our influence: the weather, the economy, other people's choices, unexpected health issues, global events. Trying to control the uncontrollable is like trying to hold water in your hands. It will always slip through your fingers. The painful reality of this is that the more we try to control what we cannot, the more stressed, anxious, and frustrated we become. When things don't go according to our plan, which they often won't, because life has its own plans, we feel disappointed, angry, or defeated. We become rigid, less adaptable, and less open to the spontaneous joys and unexpected opportunities that life offers. This need for control can also strain relationships, as we might try to micromanage loved ones or get upset when they don't do things exactly as we think they should. It keeps us in a state of hypervigilance, constantly anticipating potential problems instead of relaxing and enjoying the present moment. Why is releasing the need for control so vital after 65? Because at this stage, we gain wisdom from having lived through many unpredictable events. We've seen that somehow. Things often work out differently than we expected, sometimes even better. We understand, perhaps more deeply than before, the impermanence of life and the limits of our own power. Letting go of the need to control everything isn't about becoming passive or careless. It's about recognizing the boundary between what you can influence, your own actions, attitudes, and responses, and what you cannot. It's about cultivating acceptance and flexibility. It's about trusting in the flow of life a little more, and trusting in your own resilience to handle whatever comes your way. It's about trading anxiety for peace. Actionable steps to loosen the grip of control. First, identify where you're trying to control the uncontrollable. Is it worrying incessantly about your adult children's lives? Is it getting agitated by traffic you can't change? Is it trying to predict every possible outcome before making a decision? Pinpoint the areas where you're expending energy fruitlessly. Second, practice acceptance. This doesn't mean resignation, but acknowledging reality as it is, not as you wish it were. Repeat a mantra like, "I accept this situation, even though I don't like it," or "I can handle this." Third, focus on what you can control. Your reaction. You can't control the traffic, but you can control whether you spend the time fuming or listening to music or a podcast. You can't control another person's choices, but you can control how you respond to them and how you take care of yourself. Fourth, cultivate mindfulness. Being present in the moment reduces the mind's tendency to race ahead and try to orchestrate the future. Practice simple breathing exercises or meditation. Fifth, lean into trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in others. Trust in a higher power or the universe. Whatever resonates with you. Trust that you have the inner resources to handle challenges. Trust that things will unfold as they are meant to. Sixth, delegate or ask for help if you're trying to control things that others are capable of doing. Letting go of the need for control is like untying dozens of tiny, constricting ropes that have been binding you. Imagine those ropes falling away from your backpack and your body. You can move so much more freely now. So, we've talked about setting down 4 significant weights that many of us carry: the burden of past regrets, the anxiety of worrying about what others think, the heavy, bitter stone of resentment and grudges, and the tiring struggle of trying to control everything. Imagine your backpack now. Much, much lighter. Isn't it? Think about the space that's been created. What can fill that space instead? Peace, freedom, joy, presence, connection, acceptance, resilience, Living with a lighter load doesn't just feel better emotionally and mentally. It has a profound impact on our physical health as well. Chronic stress, which is fueled by regret, worry, resentment, and the need for control, contributes to inflammation, high blood pressure, heart issues, digestive problems, and weakened immune function. By consciously choosing to release these burdens, you are not only improving your daily happiness, but potentially adding healthy, vibrant years to your life. It's not about denying the past or pretending difficult things didn't happen. It's about acknowledging them, learning from them, and then deciding that they will not define or burden your present and future. It's about giving yourself permission to be free. You have lived a full life, gained incredible wisdom, and navigated countless challenges. You have earned the right to live your later years with as much ease, joy, and authenticity as possible. This isn't a one-time event. You don't just empty the backpack and it stays empty forever. Life will inevitably bring new experiences, some wonderful, some challenging, and perhaps some new weights might try to creep in. The key is to become more aware, to recognize those burdens when they appear, and to practice the art of letting go consistently. Think of it as regularly emptying your backpack, making sure you're only carrying what is truly necessary and helpful for the journey ahead. You have the power to do this, right now, starting today. It might feel challenging at times, like any new practice, but the rewards are immense. Living lighter allows you to truly appreciate the beauty of each day, to nurture your relationships more fully, and to pursue your passions with renewed energy. It allows you to be fully present for the good moments and to navigate the tough ones with greater grace. Don't let invisible burdens steal the joy and vitality from your golden years. You are strong, you are capable, and you deserve to live your happiest, longest life. If any of these points resonated with you, or if you found other things you've needed to let go of as you've gotten older, I'd love to hear about your experiences. Share your thoughts and reflections in the comments below. It helps build a wonderful community of support and shared wisdom. And if you found this video helpful or encouraging, please give it a like. That tells me I'm creating content that resonates with you. And for more tips and insights on living your best life at every age, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss future videos. Remember, it's never too late to set down your burdens and choose a lighter path. Live your best life at every age.